Over the last few years, I've tried a lot of habits, morning routines, productivity hacks, setting huge goals, writing down 5-year plans, watching countless videos of becoming the best version of myself. Some of those things helped, but there's one habit I've come to appreciate the most. And honestly, it's completely changed the way I look at life. That habit is learning how to keep promises to myself. Today, I want to talk about why I think that's one of the most important habits we can build, how it changed the way I approach my own life, and why I think it might help anyone who's ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like they're constantly starting over. Because to be honest, I used to think motivation was the answer. Now, I think consistency is, and there's a big difference. So what's the difference between setting a goal and keeping a promise to yourself? Goals usually focus on where we want to end up. Lose 20 pounds, get promoted, grow a business, start a YouTube channel, become a better husband, become a better father. Those are all great goals. I still have goals, but I've noticed something. The things that have changed my life the most weren't the goals themselves. They were the little things I kept doing long after. The excitement disappeared. Because let's be honest, setting goals is exciting. Keeping promises, that's the hard part. I think a lot of us have experienced that feeling. January comes around. We're motivated. We buy the planner. We organize everything into oblivion. Maybe we even buy the new workout clothes because apparently that's supposed to help. Then a few weeks later, life happens. Work gets busy. Kids need us. We get tired. And suddenly, those goals don't seem nearly as exciting anymore. As I've gotten older, I've realized adults really aren't different from kids. We're just kids with responsibilities. We still chase the next thing, the next paycheck, the next promotion, the next vacation, the next milestone. And sometimes we forget that life isn't about arriving somewhere. It's also about becoming someone. For me, the gym taught me this better than anything. I've been consistently going to the gym for about 2 years now. And trust me, there have been plenty of days where I didn't want to go. Days where work completely drained me. Days where I just wanted to go home, sit on the couch, and tell myself I'd wake up tomorrow. Sound familiar? But here's what I've noticed. I almost never regret going. I regret skipping. Every single time I leave the gym, I feel just a little bit different than when I walked in. Not because every workout is amazing. Some workouts, honestly, aren't special at all. But every workout reminds me that I kept a promise to myself. And I think that's where confidence actually comes from. Not from being perfect. Not from looking a certain way. Not from everybody thinking you've got your life together. Confidence comes from proving to yourself over and over again that you'll do what you said you were going to do, even when you're tired, even when somebody else is watching, even when the couch is making some pretty convincing arguments. That kind of confidence is hard to explain until you've actually experienced it. A couple of years ago, I actually pushed myself a little too hard in the gym. I wanted to improve faster, lift more, do more, and eventually I paid for it. Getting injured taught me something I probably needed to learn. Progress isn't about doing the most. It's about doing what you can to continue doing it. Now, I stretch before every workout. I take recovery seriously. I slow down when I need to. Not because it's exciting, but because I'd rather still be working out 10 years from now than impress somebody for 10 minutes today. Sometimes growth doesn't look like pushing harder. Sometimes growth looks like staying in the game. And honestly, that lesson applies to so much more than fitness. If you've been enjoying this video so far, can I ask a little favor? If something I've shared has made you stop and think, or maybe you realize you're not the only person trying to figure all this out, would you mind tapping that like button and subscribing? It really helps this channel reach more people who might need to hear this as well. My goal with this channel is simple. I just want to help as many people as I can become a little bit better than I was yesterday. So thank you. Let's keep going. As I've gotten older, I've realized I don't really have one life-changing habit. Instead, I have a handful of promises I try to keep every single week. Stretch before I work out. Take my recovery seriously. Spend one-on-one time with my 2 young champs. Say my affirmations every night. Do my breathing exercises before bed. Keep making these videos, even if one only gets a little bit better than the last. And that's been another huge lesson for me. When I first started YouTube, I think I cared way too much about the outcomes, views, the subscribers, the growth. Now, I care a lot more about simply making each video a little better than the previous one. Because I can't control who clicks. I can't control the algorithm. But I can control whether I sit down and put in the work. One video, then another. And over time, those little promises start becoming part of who you are. Something that I've also noticed is that whenever I stop doing those little things, I start coasting, not falling apart, just coasting. I stop feeling as confident. I become more reactive. Life starts happening to me instead of me intentionally living it. Maybe you've noticed that too in your own life too. Sometimes it isn't one big decision that changes our direction. It's simply stopping the little things that were quietly keeping us grounded. For me, that's usually my sign that it's time to come back to the basics. Not chase another productivity hack. Not to buy another planner. Not wait until Monday. Just start keeping promises to myself again. Every morning, I like sitting down with a cup of coffee before the day really begins. It's one of the few quiet moments I have. And during those mornings, I realized something. I used to think successful people were simply more motivated than everybody else. But the more people I study, the more biographies I read, the more interviews I watch, the more I realize motivation isn't what separates them. They simply became the kind of people who honored their own word, even when nobody was clapping, even when progress was slow, even when it wasn't exciting anymore. There's a quote from James Clear that really stuck with me. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. I love that quote because systems are really just promises repeated over time. One workout, one conversation, one bedtime story, one stretch, one video, one decision after another. That's how a life changes. Not overnight, but one promise at a time. Maybe that's why this idea has changed my life so much, because I've stopped asking myself, what huge thing do I need to accomplish next? Instead, I ask, what's one promise I can keep today? Sometimes that's going to the gym. Sometimes it's spending uninterrupted time with my family. Sometimes it's simply showing up and recording a video when I don't feel like it. None of those moments seem life-changing by themselves, but together, they quietly built the kind of person I want to become. Not perfect, just better than yesterday. So maybe I'll leave you with the same question I've been asking myself lately. What promise have you stopped keeping to yourself? And what's one small promise you can keep today? Not tomorrow, not next Monday, but today. Because I have a feeling your future isn't built on one giant decision. It's built by little promises you're deciding to keep, especially on the days you don't feel like it. I'm Elo Sanchez. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.